fighter is more than just fists, more than just strength, more than just skill. A true fighter stands on something bigger than muscle, bigger than talent, bigger than any opponent in front of them. A true fighter stands on faith, because when the body is tired, when the pain sets in, when everything inside you screams to stop, it's faith that keeps you moving. It's faith that tells you, I ain't come this far to quit now. It's faith that turns doubt into determination, fear into fire, obstacles into stepping stones. You don't just fight with your hands, you fight with your heart. And the strongest heart is the one that believes. Believes in the mission, believes in the purpose, believes in something greater than the moment, greater than the struggle, greater than the world trying to hold it back. Because every champion, every legend, every warrior that ever stepped into battle knew that the greatest fights are won first in the mind, first in the soul, before the first punch is thrown, before the first move is made, before the first round even begins. Victory starts with faith. Faith is what separates the ones who quit from the ones who push through, the ones who break from the ones who break records, and the ones who dream from the ones who do. It's easy to fight when things are going your way, when the path is clear, when the crowd is cheering, when success feels close. But faith isn't tested in the easy times. Faith is tested in the struggle, in the moments when nothing makes sense, when the odds are stacked against you, when everyone says you can't win. That's when faith has to be stronger than fear, because fear will whisper, what if you fail? Faith will roar, what if you succeed? Fear will tell you to stop, to slow down, to take the easy road. Faith will tell you to fight harder, to dig deeper, to rise up no matter how many times you fall. The world will always doubt you. The world will tell you it's impossible. The world will try to break you. But if you have faith, real faith, unshakable faith, then nothing can stop you. Because faith is more than just hope. Faith is work. Faith is getting up when you don't feel like it. Faith is training when no one is watching. Faith is pushing through the pain, the sweat, the exhaustion, because you know that your fight is bigger than your feelings. Faith doesn't just believe. Faith acts. Faith stands tall when the pressure is on. Faith refuses to back down, refuses to quit, refuses to surrender. Faith walks into the ring with confidence, not because the fight is easy, but because the heart is ready. A fighter without faith is just another person throwing punches. A fighter with faith is unstoppable, because they know that no matter what happens, no matter how hard the battle, they will not lose, because they refuse to lose. That's the difference. That's what makes a true warrior. Not just power, not just skill, but the unbreakable belief that no challenge is bigger than the fire inside. What do you stand for? What do you believe in so deeply that nothing, no amount of pain, no amount of pressure, no amount of resistance could ever make you back down? Because if you want to be great, if you want to leave your mark, if you want to rise above the rest, you have to choose conviction over comfort. Comfort is easy, comfort is safe. Comfort is what the weak chase when the fight gets too hard. But champions don't chase comfort, they chase purpose. They chase something bigger than themselves, something that matters more than a soft pillow, a lazy afternoon, or the approval of the crowd. Conviction is what separates the great from the average. It's what makes a warrior stand tall when others crumble. It's what makes a fighter keep pushing when every muscle is screaming to stop. Conviction doesn't waver. It doesn't bow down. It doesn't break under pressure. Because the truth is, if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. Look at history. Every champion, every icon, every leader that changed the game stood for something. They didn't just wake up one morning and stumble into greatness. They fought for it. They sacrificed for it. They suffered for it. And they didn't let comfort steal their destiny. You can't have both. You can't live a life of ease and expect to be extraordinary. You can't chase success and run from struggle at the same time. You either stand firm in your conviction or you get swallowed up by comfort. Comfort whispers, take it easy, you've done enough. Conviction roars, you're not done yet. There's more to give. Comfort says, why push yourself when you can rest? Conviction says, why rest when there's work to do? Comfort is where dreams go to die. It's where potential fades. It's where people settle for good enough instead of fighting for greatness. But conviction is where legends are made. Because when you believe in something so deeply, when you know in your soul that you were made for more, that's when you stop making excuses. That's when you stop listening to doubt. Draw, confess, there is. The only reason you're asking comfortable is comfort. They're the ones who keep going, the ones who refuse to quit, the ones who choose conviction over comfort. They're the ones who rise to the top. People will try to talk you out of campaign. People who refuse to quit, the ones who choose conviction over comfort, they're the ones who rise to the top. People will try to talk you out of, they'll tell you to take the easy route. They'll say it's too hard, too risky, too much work. Ignore them, because they don't see the vision. They don't have the conviction. They don't understand what's burning inside you, and that's why they'll never reach the heights you're climbing toward. You don't get to be great by doing what's easy. You don't get to be remembered by staying comfortable. You get there by standing firm, by refusing to give in, by holding on to what you believe no matter what. Because in the end, comfort fades. But conviction is forever. Anybody can talk big when things are going their way. Anybody can feel strong when the path is smooth, when the crowd is cheering, when there's no struggle in sight. But true champions are tested in the fire, because trials don't make the champion, they reveal them. When the weight of the world is on your shoulders, when the punches keep coming, when everything inside you screams to quit, that's when you find out who you really are. That's when the weak break and the strong rise. That's when the pretenders disappear and the warriors step forward. But you don't grow without pain. Every champion, every legend, every unstoppable force this world has ever seen, they were all tested. Because the path to greatness isn't easy. It's brutal. It's lonely. It's full of setbacks, full of failures, full of moments where doubt creeps in and the road ahead looks impossible. But champions don't let trials define them. They use trials to refine them. You want to know who the real fighters are? Look at the ones who get knocked down and refuse to stay down. Look at the ones who take the hit, wipe the blood from their mouth and say, is that all you got? Look at the ones who turn pain into power, who take every failure as fuel, who don't cry about the struggle. They embrace it. Because champions don't run from the fight. They welcome it. Trials don't scare them. Pain doesn't scare them. Losing doesn't scare them. The only thing that scares a true champion is wasting their potential, because they know that every trial, every setback, every dark moment isn't the end of their story. It's just another chapter in the making of something legendary. And that's the difference. That's what separates the ones who talk about greatness from the ones who actually achieve it. The ones who crumble under pressure from the ones who rise when the heat is on. When things get hard and when the world pushes against you, you have two choices. You can fold or you can fight. You can let the trials break you or you can let the trials build you. The choice is yours. But just know this. Every champion you've ever admired, every legend you've ever looked up to, they chose to fight. They chose to stand when it would have been easier to fall. They chose to push forward when everything inside them screamed to stop. And that's why they became great. Not because they had it easy, not because life handed them success, but because they were tested and they passed the test. Before you can become it, you have to speak it. Before you can hold it in your hands, you have to see it in your mind. Before the world recognizes your greatness, you have to declare it to yourself over and over until there is no doubt left inside you. Because the words you speak shape the reality you live in. The greatest champions, the most unstoppable warriors, the ones who defy the odds, they don't just dream about success, they speak it into existence. They don't say, I hope I win. They say, I will win. They don't say, I want to be the best. They say, I am the best. They don't wait for the world to give them permission. They take what's theirs because they already claimed it with their word. The mind is powerful, but the words you feed it are even more powerful, because every time you say something, you either program yourself for victory or you program yourself for failure. If you keep saying, I'm not good enough, don't be surprised when you never rise. If you keep saying it's too hard, don't be surprised when you quit. If you keep saying, I can't do it, don't be surprised when you never do. But the ones who achieve greatness, they tell themselves a different story. They wake up and say, I am built for this. They step into the arena and say, nobody can stop me. They look at every obstacle, every setback, every challenge and say, watch me overcome it. Because once you speak it, you start to believe it. And when you believe it, nothing in this world can stop you. Because belief changes everything. It changes the way you train. It changes the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you carry yourself. It changes the way you fight. Doubt makes you weak. Doubt makes you hesitate. Doubt is what keeps people from ever reaching their full potential. But belief is what makes a champion. When you believe, you move differently. You push through the pain. You work when nobody's watching. You refuse to give up because you already know deep down victory is yours. You don't wait for proof. You don't wait for signs. You don't wait for the world to confirm what you already know inside. You act like the champion before the world even sees it. And when you keep speaking it and you keep believing it, that's when it happens. That's when you achieve it. Because the ones who win, the ones who rise, the ones who reach the top, they don't just dream about it. They don't just wish for it. They don't just hope for it. They speak it, they believe it, and then they go out there and make it real. What will they say about you when you're gone? What mark will you leave behind? What impact will your name carry long after you've taken your last breath? Because a true champion doesn't just live for today. A true champion builds a legacy. And a legacy isn't built by accident. It's not built on luck, on talent alone, or on temporary success. A legacy is built on purpose. Because anybody can win once. Anybody can have a moment of greatness. But a moment is not a legacy. A legacy lasts. A legacy echoes through time. A legacy is written in the history books, carved into the hearts of those who witnessed it, felt it, and were changed by it. And if you want to build a legacy, you need to ask yourself, what am I fighting for? Not money, not fame, not trophies that gather dust. What is the purpose behind the fight? Because those who fight for themselves alone will fade, but those who fight for something bigger, they will never be forgotten. Every legend, every icon, every name that still shakes the world long after they're gone, they stood for something. They didn't just show up to win fights, to collect titles, to chase applause. They showed up to make a statement, to change the game, to inspire. That's what a legacy is, not just success, but significance. You can work your whole life to be the best, but if there's no purpose behind it, it dies with you. But when you stand for something, when you give everything you have to something greater than yourself, your legacy will live forever. A legacy built on purpose doesn't crumble under pressure. It doesn't break when times get tough. It doesn't disappear when the lights fade and the crowd stops cheering, because it's bigger than one moment. It's bigger than one man. It's built to last. But here's the truth. A legacy is built in the hard times. It's built in the struggle. It's built in the moments when you feel like giving up but refuse to. Because it's easy to be great when everything is going your way. It's easy to fight when you're winning, but a legacy is made when you get knocked down and still rise, when you take the hits and still keep swinging, when the world tells you to quit and you refuse to back down. Because every day you train, every decision you make, every step you take, it all adds to the story you leave behind. So ask yourself, what story will they tell about you? Will they say you are talented, or will they say you are Will they say you had potential, or will they say you left nothing on the table? Will they say you won fights, or will they say you changed the game? Because trophies get forgotten, records get broken. The spotlight doesn't shine forever, but a legacy built on purpose, that never dies.